Welcome everyone to the financial econometrics presentations. Now we'll talk about this video. This is going to be very small video, and this is for the elementaries knowledge in financial econometrics. Given the audience's point of view, people who will be finding it very interesting, do revert back in the class or probably in the comments, and we will proceed accordingly and come up with a detailed knowledge of financial econometrics as such. So yes, the introductions, we'll talk about econometrics and econometrics in today's video, nothing beyond it. We'll talk about data, we'll talk about the steps of formulating the econometrics model before winding it up. So basically three things that we would like to learn. Small video, just pay attention. It might be an intriguing one for you. The nature and the purpose of econometrics. What is econometrics? Literally meaning measurements. In economics, it is all about measurements. Defining financial econometrics, the application of statistical and mathematical techniques to problem in finance as the case might be. And that is what you need to go around here. Examples of the kind of problem that may be solved by an econometricians. Financial econometrics can be useful for testing theories in finance, determining asset prices, or perhaps the asset price return thereby, what is coming out to be, testing hypotheses concerning the relationship between variables, examining the effect of the financial markets of changes in economic conditions, forecasting future values and financial variables, financial decision making as thereby. So what are we looking into it? The theories in finance, determining the asset prices of return, the hypothesis testing that needs to be done, examining the effects of financial markets, forecasting future values of financial variables and the financial decision making then and there. There are three types of data. Remember, three types of data. One is time series data, cross-sectional data, and panel data, or perhaps a combination of time series and a cross-sectional data. So the data might be quantitative. Example, exchange rates, stock prices, number of shares outstanding of qualitative, and the day of the week as the case might be. Time series data. Data have been collected over a period of time with one or more variables per se. So that is what time series is all about it. So we need to understand that data is quantitative. It can be in numbers in terms of certain things. Let's say the stock prices, the exchange rate, the number of shares outstanding, so on and so forth. Three types. One is time series, one is cross-sectional, and the other one is panel data. Panel data can be a cross of between combination of both them. Examples of time series data. Remember GNP, the gross national product, or unemployment. Frequency that needs to be published is on monthly or quarterly basis. Government budget deficit always been published on an annual basis. I'm sure it is there in your country also. Money supply probably in the weekly basis. Value of the stock market as and when it has happened at transaction occurs. So example of the problem that could be tackled using a time series regression, relationship between a country's stock index macroeconomic variable, relationship between the company's stock prices and its dividend, relationship between different macroeconomics and financial variables that needs to be done around here. So yes, the country stock exchange, macro variables, company stock price and its payments, different macroeconomic and the financial variables. So you have everything that has some sense of relationship with one another. So cross-sectional data or the panel data, if we are saying, are data which have one or more variable collected at a single point of time. Example, gross annual income of let's say 1,000 randomly chosen household in Helsinki city on the year 2000. A poll of usage of internet stockbroking firms or services. Cross sections of stock return in NYSE, New York Stock Exchange. A sample of bond credit rating at UK banks. And I'm just giving you a random example from different parts of the world, being very neutral to every one of it. This is a cross sectional data. Data which has one or more variables but collected at a single point of time. At one way the hinges is around it. Panel data has a dimension of both the time series and the cross sectional. It is multi-dimensional data. Panel data contains the observations on multiple phenomena observed over multiple time periods for the same firms, the same individual. Example, the daily prices of the number of blue chips stocks over 2 years. Example is annual unemployment rates of each state over several point of years. Quarterly sales of individual stores over several quarters. Wages for the same worker working at a several different jobs as on when on basis, and how do we come across with it? That is what we should be going across it. Returns on financial modeling. Now, what are we looking at it? It's preferably to work directly with the asset prices. So we usually convert the raw prices into a series of return. There are two ways to do it. Simple return and log return. Simple return is what actually is coming into you, and the log return is what is expected. And probably you're keeping a note of it, everything. The formula is upon to the board. Now, the steps involved in formulation of econometric model. Please follow this particular screen of yours. The econometric models and how do we go around it? First and foremost thing, you have a theory, and that theory is usually based from your experiences or previous studies. So formulation needs to be estimated, the theoretical model. If there is certain thing, if the stock is going to give dividend every year, is the stock prices moving upward or downwards? Question to be found out. Remember, I'm saying stock is giving dividend every year. The stock price is moving upwards or downwards. That is what one relation that you got to go around it, because every time the stock gives a dividend, the prices needs to shrink a little bit out to the amount that dividend has been imparted or distributed. So collection of the data that needs to go around it, and then probably you need to understand the model estimation. So is the model statistically adequate about this price of movement of the stock? If yes, go and interpret the model. If no, reformulate the model. So you need to understand now, if it is not going up or it's not going down, what is it all about it? Then what are the factors that comes and plays in the price movement of the stock? Is it the profitability? Is it the revenue? Is it the CAGR? What are we looking into it? What is impacting the movement of the stock prices, and why is the company giving regular dividend on an annual basis? So that means the profitability of the company is doing good. The company is very lean, and so on. So if the prices are moving up and up, or the other way around, the company gives on dividend on a regular basis, on an annual basis, and the price hovers onto a pivotal prices here and there, almost year after year, absolutely doing on a healthier grams. But if it is coming down, every time it comes down, there is certain things that needs to be taken. Probably you have to stop giving dividend and use that money for establishing the business or expanding the business, or probably reinvigorating the business altogether. So I'm just giving you the formulation of econometric model per se. With this, I come to an end of this video. Thank you for watching it.